protest.
Will you apologize to Donald Trump
So
for trying to
I guess
impeach
the
him
answer is you won't support the
after
request.
you now know that
So
Joe
let me-
Biden tried
let me
to cover up
do
Hunter
this.
Biden's involvement with
Excuse me.
Ukraine?
Guys, welcome back to the Opinion Caucus. My name is Jamie, and let's dive right into this. So the clip we're going to be looking at today is between Schiff and Pam Bondi. This is her testifying before the Senate Judiciary Committee on some oversight. Now, this is a very fiery exchange between the two of them, and I just want y'all to see how Pam Bondi is unable to defend her record. So because she's unable to do that, she takes personal ad hominem attacks at Schiff. She does this to all the Democrats that are on this panel while she's being overly flattery to Donald Trump. Like that is the only thing she has to pay attention to. And ma'am, you are the Attorney General for the United States of America, not Donald Trump. But y'all, let's dive right into this. Let's start.
At odds with that promise, or feared that they would have to take such actions if they remained on the job. When over 1,000 former federal prosecutors have sounded the alarm about the unprecedented degree to which the powers of DOJ are being abused to go after the president's enemies. I approach this hearing with a heavy heart. As a former federal prosecutor myself, I served in a department that, whether it was under a Democratic or Republican president, would never use the office to go after the president's enemies or to hide the corruption of his friends. But today, the Justice Department has been used to cover up the possible corruption of the mayor of New York or of a high-level administration official taking $50,000 reportedly in cash in a bag, or a child sex predator who befriended the president and some of his cabinet members. And instead of preventing partisan weaponization, your department has engaged in a brazenly political prosecution at the president's explicit direction. The department has become President Trump's personal sword and shield to go after his ever-growing list of political enemies and to protect himself, his allies, and associates.
Attention, growth hackers and hustlers. Would it be a bad idea if we paid for your marketing? That means you would get...
My questions therefore focus on these two themes: hiding the corrupt acts of his friends and prioritizing the political prosecution of his enemies. So let me start with the shocking allegations of bribery and pay to play. 2 weeks ago, 4 major media outlets reported that Tom Homan, the president's top deportation official working in the White House, took $50,000 in cash in a bag from undercover FBI agents in September 2024, just over a year ago. According to these reports, Homan indicated he would facilitate securing contracts in exchange for money once he was in office in a future Trump administration. Reportedly, this exchange was caught on tape. Rather than pursue this investigation without fear or favor, the department and the FBI under your leadership or that of your predecessor before you confirmed quietly shut it down. Once news broke, your deputy and FBI director issued a joint public statement confirming that the Trump administration closed the investigation. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt denied Homan took the $50,000, telling a reporter, quote, "Mr. Homan never took the $50,000 that you're referring to, so you should get your facts straight." So today I hope you can help us get our facts straight. Was that true, what the White House press secretary said when she denied Homan took the money? Did he take the money?
Senator Schiff, as I stated earlier, I was not in office. I was not confirmed when that was handled.
So does that mean...
Deputy Attorney General Blanche and Director Patel said that there was no evidence that Tom Homan committed a crime. Yet now you're putting his picture up to slander him.
No, I'm putting his picture up showing an interview he gave with, I think, Fox, in which he was asked explicitly about these allegations that he took a $50,000 bribe, and he refused to answer. He said he didn't answer the question whether he took the money, so I'm asking you the question, did he take the money?
Now, we're going to pause here before she answers this question. They're wrong for that. I did nothing criminal. This is the Trump administration. There's nothing but a bunch of criminals. We're going to say allegedly, but we know it's not that much alleged. I mean, Donald Trump, he's a felon. He has 34 counts of felonies. So, I mean, just start looking there at the person at top. I mean, if the president can be a felon, is it really a surprise that the people underneath him are criminals or do criminal-like behavior? I mean, Should you be surprised? Should you be surprised that the Republican Party is waving it off? They don't care that he has $50,000 that he might have took in a bribe. I mean, we all saw how they told Mayor Eric Adams, hey, we can make this go away. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. If you let us bring ICE in, what do? He folded quickly as possible. The same way we all know that the reason why he's out of the mayoral race is because he probably got a cushy little job in the Trump administration, which will be announced sometime soon. But let's go and keep on watching. But I just thought it was interesting. Like, why is she acting like we don't know there's criminal? Like, the guy who's your boss, the guy that you are doing everything you can cover up for. I mean, the Epstein files. All we have to do is say that. I mean, we understand what's going on. Let's keep on listening, y'all.
Senator Schiff, I answered that question multiple times. And frankly, you know.
Well, I don't think, with respect, I don't think you did. But in case I just didn't hear you, what is the answer? Did he take the money?
Senator Schiff, that happened prior to my confirmation as Attorney General. I said that.
Do you know, sitting here, whether he
All
took
I
the
know
money?
is that Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and FBI Director Patel said there was no case. And Caroline Levitt is one of the most trustworthy human beings I know.
So
And,
was she?
you know,
Now, before she even gone, I can't believe she said that with a straight face. Caroline Levitt is the most trust. How did she say that? Is she wearing her cross today? Is she? Can y'all tell? Because as long as their mouths are flapping, we know they're lying. The most trustworthy person you know. But let's keep on going, y'all.
you know,
Was
Senator
she-
Schiff,
was she
if you
right?
worked for me,
Was she-
you would have been fired because
Excuse
you
me.
were censured
No,
by Congress for lying with your
we can
egregious
stipulate to, you can stipulate to all your personal attacks on the Democratic members of the committee.
personal attacks. You've been attacking my FBI director.
so-
You've been
but
attacking
we-
my
but
office.
we-
You've been
But
attacking.
we're interested in.
Borders are.
What we're interested in is the answer to these oversight questions. You were asked by my colleague from Vermont whether you will support providing a video or audio tape, if it exists, of Mr. Homan taking $50,000 in bribe money from the FBI. Will you support a request by this committee to provide that tape or tapes to the committee? Yes or no?
Hey, Alicia Little here, and I'm excited to announce that the third annual AI and Marketing Summit is here.
Senator Schiff, you can talk to Director Patel about that.
Well, I'm talking to you about it. You're the Attorney General. This will be your decision. Will you
You don't
support?
have to tell me what is my decision and what is not my decision. I said
and
you
you
can
don't
talk
have
to
to-
Director
you don't-
Patel.
Now, I must say, they love the angry black woman trope. They have now finally found the angry white woman trope. Pam Bondi, like, she is trying so hard to get back into the Trump spirit because, you know, they don't really like her right now. They don't really like her. They feel like she's dropped the ball over and over and over again. Donald Trump's had to call her out in public, letting her know, hey, you need to prosecute these people. That's the way the MAGA sphere feels about her. They don't like Pam Bondi. One, she's already a woman. That was held against her. Two, you're moving a little too slow. Like, when the man tells you to do something, you're supposed to jump. That's the, you know, that's the masculinity of the magnosphere. So now we have her overcompensating at a Judiciary Committee hearing, and they can't get to the point he's asking, will you give us the tape if the tape is available? She doesn't have it. Yeah, no. That's how you know the tape, they might got a tape. The same way they keep saying they ain't got the list now. Thou protest too much, if I must say myself. Well, let's keep on listening, y'all. And y'all, tell me what y'all think about us in the comments. Subscribe to this channel if you've been here this long. Like I said, if you've been here for a second, thank you so much. If you've been here the entire time so far, I freaking love you. Now let's keep on listening, y'all.
Have to try to.
You think you've
don't
got a
have to-
gotcha with Tom Homan, our
Excuse me,
borders are,
excuse me, you
who's
don't have-
been out there
Excuse me.
fighting for our country
Madam
since
Chair,
Donald Trump took office.
I'm trying to ask you a question. Regular order, please. And you don't have to defer to the FBI director to pass the buck. So I'm asking you, will you support a request so that the committee?
What is up with the Trump administration? They're constantly trying to pass the buck on to the next person. Like, she's now saying the two guys that are underneath me, I'm going to defer to them on something where at the end of the day, if it's going to get posted and if you're going to give it to Congress, the last person who's going to approve it is you. We all know that's how the Trump administration is working. They're trying to consolidate power in the top parts of all the departments. We all know that is if this tape of Holman is available, the only way it's going to be brought out to the public is if she approves it. That's the same reason why we don't have the Epstein files, because she won't approve it. Because why? Because Donald Trump won't approve it. But let's keep on listening, y'all.
Or indeed, I believe the American people should be able to see that video or audio tape. Will you support that request?
Will you apologize to Donald Trump
So
for
I
trying
guess
to impeach
the
him
answer is you won't support that
after
request.
you now know that
So
Joe
let me-
Biden tried
let
to
me
cover up
do
Hunter
this.
Biden's involvement with
Excuse
Ukraine?
me. Let me do this, because I think it's valuable that the American people get a sense of what you've refused to answer today. So these are just some of the questions you refused to answer, or have answered with personal attacks on members of this committee. You were asked whether you consulted with career ethics lawyers, as you promised you would do during your nomination hearing, when you approved the president receiving a $400 million gift from the Qataris. You refused to answer that question. You were asked who or what role you may have played, or who played the role in asking that Trump's name be flagged in any of the Epstein documents gathered by the FBI. You refused to answer that question. You were asked whether Homan kept the $50,000 bribe money. You refused to answer that question. You were asked whether Homan paid taxes on the $50,000 bribe money. You refused to answer that question. You were asked, did career prosecutors find insufficient evidence to charge James Comey? You refused to answer that question. You were asked, how are military strikes on these boats in the Caribbean legal? And you refused to even answer that question. You were
have a
asked,
law degree,
excuse me,
Senator Schiff?
excuse me. You were asked, did you discuss indicting James Comey with the president? You refused to answer that question. You were asked, did you approve the firing of antitrust lawyers who disagreed with the Hewlett-Packard merger? You refused to answer that question. You were asked whether you support a restoration fund for violent insurrections to attack the Capitol on January 6th. You refused to answer that question. You were asked whether you were firing career professionals, career prosecutors, just because they worked on January 6th January 6th investigations. You refused to answer that question. You were asked by my California colleague whether you believe government officials, like immigration officials, have to abide by court orders. You wouldn't even answer that question.
Do not pay somebody to build you a Shopify store, because I'm going to do it free with 20 handpicked products by myself. And
this is supposed to be an oversight hearing.
Oversight?
Excuse me, you can attack me after my time is over.
You've attacked all of us, including President Trump, for your entire career.
You can attack me later, and I know you've got plenty of canned attacks. We've heard them all day today.
Canned attacks on you?
This is supposed to be...
No one needs a canned attack on you.
Regular order, Madam Chair, I'm trying to speak. This is supposed to be an oversight hearing of the Justice Department. And it comes in the wake of an indictment called for by the president of one of his enemies. This is supposed to be an oversight hearing, and it comes in the wake of revelations that a top administration official took $50,000 in a bag, and this department made that investigation go away. This is supposed to be an oversight hearing when dozens of prosecutors have been fired simply because they worked on cases investigating the former president. This is, and now the current president.
What about the fires in California?
And
Do you
this
care
is
about that,
supposed to be,
Senator Schiff?
excuse me, this is supposed to be an oversight hearing in which members of Congress can get serious answers to serious questions about
Are the riots in LA serious?
About the cover-up of corruption, about the prosecution of the president's enemies. And
I think you owe the president an apology.
When will it be
Your entire
when will
career,
it be that
frankly.
the members of this committee on a bipartisan basis demand answers to those questions and refuse to accept
Clearly you're a
personal,
failed lawyer
refuse to
because you don't
accept,
understand when
excuse me,
someone can and cannot
refuse
answer
to
a
accept
question.
personal slander.
Y'all see, like, he's trying just to finish off. Like, because, they get a set amount of time. She's not answering any questions. At this point, he's like, I'm just going to list out everything you have not answered. You do not answer any of these questions. And this is how Democrats have to come at Republicans. Just remind them, like, did you answer anything? Because Republicans, their entire identity right now is based off of Donald Trump's whims. They have no serious policy. They have no moral standard. They have no compass other than Donald Trump. If Donald Trump wants to become a socialist tomorrow, they will all jump over that boat and become socialists tomorrow. That's just what the Republican Party is right now. And so all she has available to attack Adam Schiff with, or any Democrat with on this panel, was she attacked all of them. She was especially nasty to Alex Padilla of California. Is to do nasty insults, ad hominem attacks, because you can't answer the simple question of, did he take $50,000? Did she make the case go away? What evidence made it where you thought it was okay to go away? What did Donald Trump mean when he asked you to prosecute James Comey and you fired the prosecutors that would not prosecute him, hired somebody who will prosecute him? That is what oversight is. And he's basically outlined, like, are we not doing basic oversight anymore? Or is this now no longer a norm? But let's go ahead and see if it's worth listening to her continue to just yap, or we're going to go ahead and just wrap this up. Thank y'all so far, though. For everybody who's still watching, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, and let's keep on going.
Someone can and cannot
refuse
answer
to
a
accept
question.
personal slander as an answer to those questions.
Personal slander.
With
Will
that,
you
Madam Chair,
apologize to
I
Donald
yield
Trump
back.
for slandering him? Personal slander.
Senator Brett.
May I ask unanimous consent, Madam Chair, to introduce into the record the statement of 1,000 former Justice Department officials who warned that the Comey indictment is a democracy-threatening abuse of power. May I also request unanimous consent for the introduction into the record of 282 former career officials at the Justice Department raising an alarm who were voluntarily or involuntarily forced to leave the department because of improper actions taken by the Department of Justice. May I introduce with unanimous consent the Justice Department manual that talks about when initiating and declining charges are subject to impermissible considerations. And finally, Madam Chair, may I introduce the letter from Michael Ben-Ari, a career counterterrorism prosecutor, DOJ, a letter he nailed to his door, which concludes by urging officials to do the right thing for the right reasons, to follow the facts and the law, and raises the alarm that the decision to remove experienced career officials from U.S. attorneys' offices, the FBI, and critical parts of DOJ undermines our country's abilities to counter terrorist organizations, malign nation-state actors, and countless others that seek to harm our nation and its citizens. And he believes that the priority is
Are you
prosecuting the
still
president's
arguing,
enemies
or are you admitting?
rather than
Ms.
protecting the
Bondi,
country.
one moment.
May I have unanimous
Are you
consent to enter
entering
these
that
into the record?
without objection?
Thank you. I yield back.
Senator Brett.
Senator Moody, may I clarify one thing he entered in the record? I just want to say that I believe he entered a letter by 200 and something former employees. Well, I believe the spokesperson for that letter was also the spokesperson for Jack Smith.
Senator Brett.
See, even then, no accountability. None whatsoever. But, I mean, this is the Trump administration. She thought she cooked. Ma'am, all you did was create the first worst white woman triple X. If that was, she's a Karen. Like, she's the worst type of Karen. Like, no accountability. She answered no questions. And Democrats, that's how you just have to, like, get at them with specific questions. They have no nuance. Everything is fluff. Everything is, what can I say that won't make Donald Trump upset with me today? What will keep me on Mr. Trump's good side? We all know this. So all she did the entire time was, will you apologize to Donald Trump? Will you apologize to Donald Trump? Will you apologize to Donald Trump? But y'all tell me what y'all think about all this in the comments. Tell me, did you enjoy this video? Check out any of the other videos on my channel as well. And I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.